Today, we'll be taking a look at this GE electric dryer. We will show you how to remove and replace your drum belt. Be sure to visit ApplianceVideo.com, where you will find thousands of repair videos on the latest technology. And for a limited time, you can save big on an annual membership and take advantage of all of our premium benefits. ApplianceVideo.com. Do it right the first time. To begin your repair, you must first remove the console. Stop. Always be sure to disconnect the power to the appliance. It is also recommended to test the outlet for the proper voltage. You will need the following tools to complete this repair. To begin, you must first remove the top of the console, but if you look around, you'll see there is no screws to remove the top of the console. So it can be rather tricky. What you need to do is pull out on your knob and set it aside. There is one long Phillips screw to the left of the console centerpiece here. Just take this out. Next, need to be very careful. I apologize if this moves. What needs to happen is we need to pull up on the console on both sides. It's held on by these kind of compression and slotted spots. So you can start on one side. This side always lifts up a little bit easier. This side over here is a little bit more difficult to get up. There we go. Lift up. We will bend it down, and the next thing we'll want to do is take off all of the wiring for your control board. I'll come back to this one. We'll sit it down for a second. This one's being a little difficult to pull off, so I'm going to go to the bottom. Use the board with just a little bit of leverage to start to pop up the terminals, but do so gently so that you do not damage anything. There we go. Got it taken off there. And set your console to the side. Next, to remove the top, you will have to remove these 3 screws here. All of them can be taken off with the Phillips bit. Set these aside. Lift up on the top, slide out, and remove and set aside. The next thing we will need to do is remove this front console bracket. Now, in order to do that, obviously we will have to push the wiring through. There's a strain reliever here and a strain reliever down here. Just pinch them with your needle nose pliers and start to push it through. One through, 2 through. Let's go ahead and pull out our wiring. Next, there is a couple of screws that will have to be removed. Here, here, here. This one, and these 3. Pay attention to what goes where, such as these metal pieces here and your console anchors. There's also one in the center that will need to be removed too. Take that out. Slide out on the metal bracket and set it aside. Next, we will have to remove the front panel here. Now there's a couple things that are holding it on, such as screws on the top some Molexes, some screws in the middle, and screws on the bottom. What I have found easiest is to start with the bottom and move up. So I'm going to open the dryer door. I'm going to lift up the dryer and slide something underneath it just so I can get the screws. There is 2 white Phillips screws under here that will have to be removed. Take one out. Take the second one out. I'll go ahead and remove this. Next, we'll open the door. You have 2 Phillips screws here and here that you will want to remove. After we take these 2 out, let's go ahead and close it up. We have one here and here that will need to be removed, but first, let's go ahead and unclip the 2 Molexes. We will remove this one. Followed by over here. When removing it, make sure you hold up on it so it doesn't fall. So to the side, let's go ahead and start to pull off. Next, reach down. There's a water line connection right here. You'll have to put pressure up against it and separate. So I use my thumbs, separate it, and set your panel aside. Now that we have the panel removed, we have clear access to our belt assembly. Now, if your belt is actually broken, the belt will be laying inside the drum. If it is slipping or anything like that, the belt will still be intact. To remove the belt, you need to be very careful, but we are going to put one arm in this section and one arm underneath. We'll be lifting up on the drum some to remove the idler arm in the belt sequence. So I'll move the idler arm over, pull off the belt, and remove it. So let's slip our arms under here. Be very careful. We have our idler arm. Let's pull it back. Remove the belt off of the motor shaft. Gently allow the idler arm to go back. We'll just move our wiring over. Pick up on the belt. Start to slide it forward. This will ensure that you don't get caught on anything. Slide off the belt and set it aside. When installing a new belt, if you have to stretch it, make sure you do so. You can put one end around your foot and start to move it around if it's around your shoe to kind of get it hot so it stays in place and it's not twisting. Now, we'll start by putting the belt on the top, slide in the sides, and get it around the front. We'll maneuver it around the water line here. Next, I'm gonna lift it up, and I'm just gonna kind of walk it back to where it was previously. A lot of times there's a line on top of your dryer where the belt's been moving around. You can move it based on where that is. So we will get it in place. Move my hands underneath. First, I'm gonna pull back the idler here. Next, I'm gonna bring the belt down. I'm gonna go around the motor shaft, and it will be the spline portion that's going around the motor shaft. So you'll have a flat portion, and you'll have kind of a ridged portion here. This will go around the shaft. Get it there, let go of your idler gently. We'll move the wiring back. Now we can reinstall the panel. When installing your front panel, first I'm going to put a couple of threads in on the ones on the bottom. It is actually easier to take it off with them removed, but it is easier to reinstall it with them on there. So we'll get them kind of in there just a little bit. Next, we will bring in our front panel and we will line it up on those screws. It has 2 kind of claws that it will slide into. This will just kind of help hold it in place a little bit. Now we will reach down, reconnect our water line, so bring it in, start to pinch in and push in on your water line, reattach it. We'll bring it in, lift up on the drum to move it in. Reinstall your 2 screws on the top. We will reattach our 2 Molexes while we are up here. Reinstall the 2 screws inside. I'll grab my box, lift up on the dryer, slide this under, tighten the 2 screws underneath. Close it, remove that. Now we can reinstall the console bracket. When reinstalling your bracket, you will have the open side facing to the front. So let's go ahead and line it up here. I'm just gonna get 2 screws and put them in on the top. I know that these were not holding anything. This is just to kind of hold the bracket in place. Next, we will do these pieces here. These were to cause the plate to be pushed back. So we'll install this one, followed by the other side. The 2 mounting anchors. Those go underneath the piece that we just reinstalled. We will do the center bottom. Center bottom. Followed by the console screw anchor. Let's go ahead and slide our wiring through. Push it through this way. We will push in our strain reliever on the top. Push in our strain reliever on the side. Now we can reinstall the top panel. When reinstalling your top, we'll start to the back. Now on here, there are a couple of slots that will correspond with this spot on the back here. So when we are putting it in, put it in here first, slide it in and drop it down. Make sure it cannot be lifted on the back. Reinstall the screws, and remember that the anchor screws go to the sides. Black screw in the middle. Now we can reinstall the console. When reinstalling your console, first we'll go ahead and put our tech manual down. It does go over to this side. What we'll do is reattach all of our wiring to start. Once all of our wiring is reattached, we will stick our tech manual back in, pop down the paper. This is just to prevent it from touching metal at the top. Now, when you are reinstalling this, one thing that you're going to have to do is you're going to have to push on it while sliding down, because on the sides it slides in right here, but there's kind of a push tab on each side that you will have to push in and slide down. So let's get this back up here. Make sure our wiring is in. We will push it back, start to slide down. There we go. Check the seams on the sides to make sure it's all the way in. Reinstall your center screw. Go very slow while doing this. Reinstall your knob. Now inside the knob it's a circle and it has one kind of pin that's pushing up. That will correspond to the flat spot inside of here. So look inside, find out where the flat spot is, put the pin there and push in, and this will complete your repair. Thank you for watching another quality video from ApplianceVideo.com. If you found this video helpful, make sure you click the like and subscribe to our channel.